What's happening to the American economy in 2025? Is the world's greatest powerhouse crumbling under skyrocketing debt, crippling tariffs, and a shrinking GDP? As an American citizen, I'm worried. Prices are soaring, jobs are at risk, and the American dream feels shaky. This is part one of our deep dive into the problems shaking our economy, and next week, in part two, I'll share solutions to turn this around. Why are we in this mess? GDP growth's down to 1.6%, our deficits hit 7%, trade wars are hiking your grocery bill. How did we get here? Are we facing a recession? We'll unravel the crisis threatening your wallet. Here's a shocker. Our debt's worse than during the Great Recession. Let's dive into the chaos and ask, can America recover? Let's start with tariffs. Why are your groceries and gadgets pricier in 2025? New trade policies under President Trump slap 10 to 20% tariffs on imports. Think clothing, electronics, even fruit. The OECD says this cuts GDP growth from 2.8% in 2024 to 1.6%. Businesses pay more to import, passing costs to you. Your next iPhone could cost $100 extra. American farmers lose markets as China and Europe hit back. Supply chains grind to a halt. Small businesses struggle. Curious? Protectionism's supposed to save U.S. jobs. But is it backfiring? Why risk a trade war when consumers like us suffer? As an American, I see the pain at the checkout line. Next week, in part two, I'll explore how we can fix this. Now, the deficit. Why is America drowning in debt? In 2025, our budget deficit hit 7% of GDP. That's $7 trillion, more than most countries' economies. Imagine owing $7,000 for every $100,000 you earn. Rising interest rates make this debt costlier. The Fed's hikes push borrowing rates up. Investors panic, selling U.S. bonds, shaking markets. Spending cuts loom. Schools, healthcare, Social Security could take hits. Why so much debt? Tax cuts and stimulus outrun taxes, and tariffs cut trade revenue. As an American citizen, I'm asking, will my taxes spike to pay this off? Can we keep borrowing? This debt's a time bomb, and it's ticking loud. Part 2. Next week, we'll show solutions. What's slowing America down? First quarter 2025 GDP shrinks by 0.3%, a red flag. Layoffs are creeping up. Tech firms cut 5,000 jobs. Manufacturing loses 10,000. Unemployment's at 4.2%, not dire but worrying. Why? Tariffs choke supply, debt limits government spending, and consumers tighten belts as prices outpace wages. Mortgage rates hit 7%, stalling housing. Your 401k's wobbling, your job feels less secure. Is this a recession's edge? Why are global rivals like China gaining while we falter? As an American, I feel the strain. Gas, groceries, rent, all up. These are tough times, but I'll share hope next week in part 2, so stay tuned. Let's unpack this crisis. First, GDP, gross domestic product, measures our output. Goods, services, tech. In 2025, it's $25 trillion, but growth's only 1.6% because tariffs raise costs. Key insight: consumer spending, 70% of GDP, weakens as prices climb. Your coffee's up $1. Second, deficits. A 7% GDP deficit means we spend more than we earn, piling debt. Interest eats 10% of our budget, starving schools, roads. Third, tariffs spark inflation, hurting growth. Napkin AI diagram. Tariffs, higher costs, slow GDP, deficit, debt. Why should you care? This hits your wallet daily. As an American, I'm digging for answers, and I'll share solutions in part 2 next week. This is part 1, exposing the 2025 economic crisis. Tariffs, a $7 trillion deficit, layoffs threatening our American dream. As an American citizen, I'm concerned, but I'm not giving up. Next week, in part 2, I'll show you solutions, how AI, tech, and bold policies can save us. Don't miss it. Subscribe, like, and comment. Are you worried about our economy? Let's face this together and keep chasing wealth.